it's about that time. I want to welcome everybody. I'm Denise Spate. I'm the chairman of the Richmond Party. And I want to get us started with the prayer that's going to be led by Brother Stacy Tuttle from the Rockingham Church of God of Prophecy, and then we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance that will be led by Boy Scout Troop 527. We appreciate it.
Amen. Amen. Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity. Lord, every moment is an opportunity that we should give you praise. We understand that we are created by you, we are designed by you, but we also must realize that we're maintained and sustained by you. Lord, in this moment, Lord, let this be even a moment in our lives that we understand the total concept of in God we trust. Lord, it's by that design that we have created and helped lead people in this great nation. And Lord, help us to set aside any agenda that we may even personally have to give you glory in all things. Lord, I pray for wisdom as there is discussion, as there are involvement in matters that we must justly act in. And God, I pray that you would not only touch us locally as decisions are made, but also corporately and as the body of the United States of America. And God, I pray right now that we would fully rely on you, that we would fully trust you. And Lord, help us to be creative in the places that we lack wisdom and guidance and understanding that you are there already. God, I pray right now that you would help our hearts to be surrendered to you. Help our minds to be surrendered to you. Help our work to be surrendered to you. God, we trust you right now. Lord, we ask that you would guide us, that you would help lead us in the paths of righteousness for your sake and for your glory. God, we love you. We thank you for what you're doing in our lives, what you're going to do through our lives. And Lord, more importantly than anything else, thank you for dying for us. It's in your precious name. Amen. Amen.
All right, boys.
Please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. I hope that each one of you will leave here as informed voters and will be enthused to go out and vote for whoever your favorite candidates will be. I wasn't planning to do this, but I see that I have a few people that are also running, and although I don't have time for them to come up here and speak, but I would like to acknowledge them. If you guys want to stand, I know I see Todd Scott. He's running for district attorney here. One of the counties is Richmond. Richmond, Scotland, and Anson, I believe. And Ben Moss is somewhere in here as well. He's North Carolina House. He's been with that for a good while now. He's running for re-election. Are there any others that I have missed? All right. Well, we appreciate that. And they are not running. They're running unopposed in the primary, but we will need to go out and support them in the general election in November. So I also want to thank certain people that have made this possible. The party's executive committee. I can't do it without you. We've got Michael Burgess, Wendy Jordan, Scott Waters, Jamie McCrae, Darla Lovin, and Pat Montgomery. I love all of you. Sheriff Mark Gollage was really helpful in getting this building ready for me, so I want to thank him. And I want to thank Jacob Pate that stepped up at the last minute to be my moderator. Alan Mashburn was supposed to be our moderator today, but he had some health issues come up unexpectedly. And so at the last minute, Jacob stepped up to the plate, and so I definitely want to thank him for that. Jacob, I'm going to hand it over to you at this time.
Well, good evening to everyone. This evening's questions were submitted in advance by the Richmond County constituents. If questions for the candidates persist after tonight's forum, please do not hesitate to reach out to the candidates personally by the next Republican Party meeting on February the 26th. Candidates, you will be given 2 minutes for an opening statement and 1 minute for a closing statement. Candidates will receive 90 seconds to answer subsequent questions. A flag will be presented at the 60-second mark as a warning that time will expire soon. That being said, let's get started. So during your introductions, I will also like you to mention what skills, education, and life you guys have that best prepare you to serve as a county commissioner, and how have all of those things shaped your ability to lead and make sound decisions. That being said, we're going to start first to follow up with James Daniels.
I do apologize. I was walking up there as you was asking the question. Could you repeat it real quick?
Yes, sir. So this is just your opening statement, but during your opening statement, I would like you to mention about what skills, education, and life experiences do you have that best prepare you to serve as the county commissioner of Richmond County?
My name is James Daniels. I've been a county resident for about 17 years now. I moved here in 2009. I did start my education here. I went to RCC. I graduated there. I got my associate's degree. I also graduated and I got a Golden Leaf scholarship. I was fortunate enough to go into the Golden Leaf leadership program. I graduated from there. I did the 4 years. That's where we go when we help rural communities in North Carolina. From there, I went on and I got my MBA from Gardner-Webb University, and now currently I'm a business instructor with NETC out of South Carolina, that is in Sherrall. I teach online, I teach traditional classes, and I also go into the prison system and I help teach inmates. So I've had to actually help lead and instruct a wide range and a very diverse group of people, make sure that they're successful. Make sure that that their concerns are heard, and I've had to deal with a wide range of questions. And that's the same thing I want to bring to the county. I want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard and the will of people are met. And that's basically my little statement.
All right, next one to Commissioner Robin Roberts.
I'm Commissioner Robin Roberts. I was born in Richmond County, but moved to Texas at an early age. Came back when I was 20, and I've lived here for 37 years. In that time, I was working downtown Rockingham for 37 of those years. I've been on many boards in the county, president of Downtown Corporation. I've been on the hospice planning boards a couple times. Been a VFW auxiliary president, District 9, junior vice president, secretary. My reason for running for county commissioner the first time and to continue to run is to give back to the community, especially the veterans, the elderly, and the children. I never thought I would be a politician. I still don't consider myself a politician. I consider myself a people person. And like I said, my reason for running was to take it to a different level from all the boards and the committees and things I've done for the community. And I hope y'all will think about voting for me again so I can continue to give back to the community in many more ways than I have.
All right, next will be Commissioner Justin Dawkins.
All right, so I'm Justin Dawkins, current Richmond County Commissioner. Born in East Rockingham, lived here all of my life. My background, I've got an education in a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering and technology. My background's in manufacturing, so I've worked from an engineer level, and I've been running manufacturing businesses in this area for about 10 to 15 years at this point. So I've got a good idea of what it takes for industry to be in this area and to continue to thrive in this area. So I joined this board in 2020, replacing Ben Moss in his seat, appointed and then ran for re-election. And then my focus coming onto this board was to come in and help repair the county and city strengths that we had at the time. Work hand in hand with a lot of our local county, city municipal leaders to try and drive us forward in that. The other thing that joining the board for is to drive fiscal responsibility. I think that I've tried to demonstrate that.
Just go ahead.
All right.
You got it.
I tried to demonstrate that through my actions over the last 5 years. We've had some clear results. We have seen some of our conflicts go away with the cities and the county, and we're starting to see some collaboration. I want to see that expand further. We've seen a lot of industrial expansion, especially with Amazon coming in, so we are seeing results. I do want to make sure that we've got a good path forward, but that we're going to have to continue to drive that with clear fiscal responsibility and disciplined leadership in our county. I want to do that as part of driving that.
My name is Melissa Schoonover. I'm technically from Richmond County. I was born in Montgomery County. Raised back in Florida. Hold on just a second.
Turn that one off, Justin. All right, try it now, Melissa.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, my name is Melissa Schoonover. I'm technically from Richmond, or from Montgomery County, but I was raised back and forth between Richmond County and Montgomery County. I have 2 associate degrees that are particularly for substance abuse and drug recovery studies, social work. I'm currently actually working on getting my what's called a CADC, Certified Alcohol and Drug Counselor certification. I also have an organization here in Richmond County called Steve's Wings for Humanity. It focuses on mainly addiction, trying to help people get into detoxes, rehabs, stuff like that. It also helps with the homelessness, feeding those that are hungry, needy families. We've been trying to get a little bit into helping the veterans. I actually got into this kind of work because addiction has affected my family through and through. I've lost a son to overdose and several other family members to drug overdose within the last 6 years. And I want to try to become a county commissioner because I want to be able to get out here and bring more resources into Richmond County, which I feel like bringing in more resources and working with everybody together, I feel like that can help our economy, that can help so many more issues that Richmond County has. And so I hope that y'all will give me a try and vote for me. Thank you.
Next will be Laverne Schultz.
My name is Laverne Schultz, long time, forever, 65 years, resident of Richmond County, seeking to be on the board of Richmond County Commission. Feel like I could do a good job, given the opportunity. Had a business for over 40 years in the county, formerly Sand Hills Office Systems, now BLS Services. So I have a good grip, I feel like, on the business. I feel like I can help the county in that, give some fresh ideas, new ideas. The county's in a good place right now, but I think we can all bring new ideas and enlighten people into other things. tonight did my heart good to see Boy Scouts here. My heart's been in Boy Scouts forever. I was a scout going through scouting from 10 years till 18, became an Eagle Scout, then became Scoutmaster for about 25 years. Now serving on some of the boards on the county and the council, and several boards in the county here that I'm on currently, RCC Foundation Board, have served and still serving on the United Way, and just Chamber of Commerce. There's a lot of boards that I've been on through the years, and I would just like to have an opportunity to bring some things to the county they don't have right now. If you have seen my signs around town, it's very simple what I'm running on. My slogan, one team, one goal, better together. I feel like I can pull the people together and sometimes be a voice of reason. And I would just like to have the opportunity. Appreciate your support.
Next will be Mr. Jesse McQueen.
My name is Jesse McQueen. I moved to Richmond County in 1991. Served 15 years with the Hamlet Police Department. I now own a business, Queen Sweet Life LLC, a Little Debbie distributorship. My education and background and certificates and things like that, got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from UNC Pembroke. I also have a master's degree in public administration from UNC Pembroke. I was a member, still am a member of the Phi Alpha Alpha National Honor Society for Public Administrators. I also served previously 15 years on the Hamlet City Council, 7 of those years as the Mayor Pro Tem. During some tumultuous times financially, one of those times was when the county made the decision to pull back sales tax from the cities. And during that time, there was no communication from the board as a whole, not individuals, but from the board as a whole. And it really stung those municipalities to the tune of, between the past 5 years, City of Rockingham has hurt them $4.3 million. Dobbin Heights, $145,000 a year. Hamlet, $600,000 a year conservatively. And the big thing to me about that is just there was no communication. There was information that this was told to the commissioners to switch this up, and it was publicly stated by the state that it was not. If you check back and look, about that time, the fund balance was about $4 million, something like that. It was about 8%, and that was very unhealthy for the government. I think I can bring some positive changes to the board, build on some of the things that the board has done, and bridge the gap between the municipalities and the county, because the relationship has been eroded over the past 5 years, almost with zero communication from the board as a whole, not from individual board members.
And next is Mr. Richard Robinson.
Good evening. My name is Richard Robinson. I've lived here since I was 4 years old, so I've been here for 34 years. I grew up here, grew up in Rockingham, in Robberdale. I worked for the railroad since 2008 here. I took a leave of absence and served in the military for 4 years with the United States Army. I ran a couple years ago as well, but I'm here, my main priority is just to work for the people and bring as much transparency as possible. I feel like that's a big gap that we have here in this county is we just need a lot of transparency, and I think a lot of you can agree with that. Just needs to be more people held accountable, more honesty, I believe. And it's my opinion there, but also on a small business. But as far as a veteran and a small business owner here in the county, I believe that I can help all of us out being a part of your local county commissioner board. So that being said, that's my intro, and looking forward to this. Thank you.
And next will be Commissioner Jason Gainey.
Thank you. I guess this is working now. Thanks for having me. My name is Jason Gainey, and first of all, I feel very uncomfortable sitting behind this table. It makes me feel very divided from you. I prefer being closer. And sometimes sitting behind a table, people think that that's a judge looking down on you, and I don't really like that. I like being among the people. You asked about qualifications. I will tell you, I have 2 bachelor's degrees in computer science and humanities, 2 master's degrees in education and divinity. I've started, run, and sold 2 companies, a national publication company for truck drivers, and a flight school for students. We brought some of that here before COVID and trained many students free of charge as well. I remember one student in particular told me when we landed in Greenville, South Carolina, he was 18 years old and he had never been outside Richmond County. And so he got to taste and see some new horizons. And he's now a pilot, teaching other people to fly. We have several others that are flying for different airlines now as a result of that program. None of that qualifies me for that position, for this position, as much as what my grandfather taught me with a 4th grade education. And that was honoring your word, loving people, and serving first. And if anything and everything, does that mean I have 30 seconds or I'm done? If anything and everything, I learned probably more from him with a 4th grade education, who ran Bowles Furniture Company here on 74, about loving people, serving first. That means more to me than any drop of education I ever had, and I look forward to doing that again in this community, should you grant me that opportunity. Thank you.
All right, so to our candidates, the first question is going to be, some have said that Richmond County is poised for growth due to your resources such as the railroad, multiple highway systems, the geographical location, and the water supply. So what are your specific ideas on using these resources for economic growth? And we want to start with Reverend Roberts. Okay, my apologies. I'll review it.
Did you repeat the question?
Yes, ma'am. All right, sorry about that. The question is, so some have said that Richmond County is poised for growth due to the resources here, such as the railroad, multiple highway systems, geographical location, and water supply. What are your specific ideas on using these resources for the economic growth of the county? Yes, ma'am. What's up?
I think I was probably going to talk about Amazon a lot. One of the Amazon bringing in, the Amazon bringing in more water structure, not only help Amazon, but help the county as a whole. And I think all the new highways going out towards LOB and going towards Charlotte, it makes it a lot easier to get here. People just passing through. With the new 7-Eleven on 74. And I'm sorry, I get nervous.
You're fine, take your time.
But I think just the infrastructure with the water that we put in with the racetrack, the water through the system put up the Amazon, helping the municipalities out when they need help with water. And like I said, the new highway that just came through brings a lot more people coming through, not just stopping for the beach, just coming through and brings more traffic.
Right, so I think Amazon is a great example of how we utilize our infrastructure. We've got excess capacity in our utilities. We've got PD and Duke both right there across from the site. Duke has plenty of plans for expansion to support that and support the community going forward. We've also got a almost infinite amount of water to go to supply to Amazon or anybody else that comes in. We've got 2 paper mills that are in here. I used to run one of those paper mills, so I understand kind of our water capacity and how it's utilized. So, and I've heard from the community that there's fears of Amazon's utilization of our water supply. But they don't use that amount of water that's in their permit day in, day out throughout the course of the year. They only use that during the heat of the summer, so they have to be permitted for that every single month of the year, even though their utilization won't be that. Same way with their paper mills. Their utilization is about the same amount as Cascades and Markout combined, so it's not like they're taking on water. So we still have plenty of infrastructure to support growth going forward. To Commissioner Roberts' comments around highway, we've got a lot of highways that kind of converge in to Richmond County that allow for clear transportation. We've seen a lot of distribution centers pop up around us, so that's an opportunity for growth. But one thing that I've been pushing for beyond the industrial side is growth around our bypass. We've got all the infrastructure that we need down US 1 South. We've got power, we've got sewer, we've got water. We need things for our community. One thing that I've tried to push around with municipal and county leaders is building an event center or a park for our kids to have growth there, and that would help pivot that area and grow more commerce around US 1 South and really utilize the highway system that we have.
I do apologize, I don't currently have an answer for that right now.
Well, the infrastructure was a good plan that's been laid out very well, where we all come intersect down at the 73, number 1, 74. It's allowed a lot more transportation in and out of the county, which is also going to allow growth for small and large business. It will allow us to go out as a county and seek those people that at some time and point would have probably just avoided Richmond County completely. The water is there. We've had it for a long time at the river, and now we're laying infrastructure for that to make sure we can draw industry. We can draw, when you draw the industry, you draw the jobs, you're going to automatically draw the housing, which is people, which is what we need. We also need to make sure we've got jobs for those people. And when people are out looking for places, and they're out there every day, we need to be out there seeking them. As a member of the county commission, I think we need to be out there looking, and we are. But I think if we continue to do what we're doing, with a big plus beside of it, it's going to make a big difference in the county.
So to begin with, this is a multifaceted question. Everything's going to deal with getting good educated people coming out of this county, going off to college and coming back to this county. You're not going to get any good paying jobs to come here if you don't have people educated to take those jobs. That's going to be number one. And that's something that's very easily done with a 5-10 year plan to see what we can do. I'm proud my son came back after 6 years to come back to the county. But we see so many go away and don't come back. Also, there's got to be better collaboration with the cities, because those are going to be the folks that are going to help. Rockingham, Hamlet, some of the other cities, just the geographical location is of such that some of these cities, see Rockingham with sewer, Hamlet with sewer, you got to have that collaboration, and I'll go back to it. I'll talk about it all night. It's just not been there by the county government, not individuals on the board of the county government. You also, just being straight with you, it might sound a little negative, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Most of this stuff is going, most of these big businesses are going to come through the state. And when the state looks at some of the meetings and the boards and see things done improperly and illegally, they're not going to come here. They're not going to come to this county whenever we're fighting on the board. For the first time ever, we got a Richmond County Republican Commissioner Board, and they can't get along with themselves and can't get along with the people at the counties. And that is one of the main things that has to occur. If we can't be open and honest and conduct business in a legal, lawful manner, we just soon stop.
All right, so speaking on our location, the way the highways are being brought around us, I think it puts us in a good spot, really. There's for in and out. The initial bypass, I think, is what started hurting Richmond Richmond County in the beginning because it completely bypasses. If you look at Laurinburg, they got to get it right down the middle, so they had everything. But we got more coming, and as Commissioner Dawkins stated about the water, I think they planned that out pretty well to keep the supply up and running on there. Our location's good. I also agree with Commissioner Dawkins about the sports complex or a thing for children. We have to keep the kids busy, the kids motivated, and as Mr. McQueen said, as far as their education, I think there's a lot of growth coming, and we're gonna need that. I know Amazon stepped up and had some stuff yesterday at the college, and I believe or today for doing some training. Because data centers that are coming, I mean, that takes technicians, not just you and I. It's got to be a tech. But I think we're in a good spot, and also what Mr. McQueen said, as far as everybody working together, that's a big thing we need, and I think we're all on the right track here.
Thank you. First of all, that was a great question. I just want to repeat the highlights. Railroad, highway, location, water, what will those items help as we grow? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Sort of summation. I think back when I was a kid, when Mayor Kinley of Rockingham sat on the NCDOT board, and he was laying out expansions of US 1, the bypass, and those kind of things, and the pushback that he got from various, people in the area. Growth and change at first are uncomfortable. We like what we like. We like the size of our church. We like the size of our grocery store. We like the size of our communities. And so growth stretches us. And so now we fast forward 30 years, and because that road was there, and because Duke Energy built those power plants there, we are now reaping a harvest of that vision 30 years ago, and we have the opportunity to have an Amazon come to us as a result of people paying the price 30 years ago. I think moving forward, you're going to see some of that too. And just to respond to some of the discord you see, anytime you see change, anytime you see movement forward, there's going to be some disagreement on the vision and what it should be. And some of that is healthy, and some of it's not. And as we learn our way forward and see our way forward, we'll pray for God's blessing and help as we find a way to use the resources we've been granted. And in closing, I'll just say that Richmond County is positioned in the center of Charlotte and Wilmington and Columbia and Greensboro. We're a hub. And so we're blessed with a wonderful location with wonderful roads and wonderful resources. And that is why we are being blessed the way that we are.
Mr. Daniels. If you don't mind, Mr. Daniels first, and I will reread the question for you, sir.
Very good. Is this one actually working, or y'all can hear me anyways? I believe Richmond County is in a great location. I believe we have great resources. We can absolutely foster growth. I do know that some people have had issues or concerns about Amazon coming here. I've heard some citizens say that they're worried about the water bills going up, the power bills going up. But honestly, I do believe, I'm not here to bash anybody. I do know we got 3 incumbents here tonight. But I do believe it was a good, decision to have Amazon come here. Richmond County is a great location for them. And then also as well as the highway system, we have a lot of passerbys that come through here, and maybe they're on the way to the beach or whatever they're on the way to, but as long as they're stopping here and spending money here, that's fostering our economic growth, supporting jobs as well. But just to go back to Amazon coming, I have heard some concerns, and when I'm talking to the citizens, I let them know that maybe all those jobs won't go to us. We are going to be bringing in other people from other counties. That's absolutely going to happen. Every job I see. But every job that comes here might not go to us, but those people are going to be coming here, they're going to be working here, they're going to be eating here, they're going to be supporting local businesses, and we can open more mom and pop shops, more small businesses, and also welcome in bigger industries. And I believe that would be an absolute opportunity for everybody. It would be good for everybody, and I want to see Richmond County always continue to improve.
All right, welcome, Mr. Terry Lewis. All right, sir, the question was, so some have said that Richmond County is poised for growth due to the resources, such as the railroad, multiple highway systems, the geographical location, and water supply. What are your specific ideas on using these resources for economic growth?
That is true. We do have the natural resources. We do have some infrastructure that does support them, at least enough to attract a corporation like an Amazon. My concerns, and I've voiced this before, is that there's still a lot more work to be done, even with those resources. We're very proud of that. I mean, we have a large water supply. Unlike some of our neighbors, at least Moore County, I do know it's suffering on the water side, but we do have the natural resources. We do have quality people. We do have an excellent road system. There's no doubt about that. But I have mentioned this before. I do think we're poised for explosive growth here in this county. I do believe that we need to probably review and look at our infrastructure moving forward and getting prepared for such growth. It's going to happen. It's not going to be just Amazon. There'll be other corporations that will follow, that will come in. You'll have new corporations. You'll have some, if their support. You have businesses right now that are working with other companies to come in that complement theirs to work right here in the community. So there are jobs coming. Do we have the housing? We'll have to see. Is our fire, rescue, are we ready? Those are things that we need to really look at. Law enforcement, and I did mention housing. Right now we're struggling housing the people that are coming in long term. I'm in the guest services business. We don't have enough places right now for the men and women that are coming in, third-party contractors that are coming in now. So we have work to do. There's no doubt about it. So you can count on that.
All right, before I need to read the next question, I'm going to ask all the candidates to please, after 2 minutes, please keep it to finish your idea, and then please let's move on, okay? Just for the sake of time and for the audience. Yes, that's. Okay, so yes, Mr. Lewis, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to let you do a 2-minute introduction, but I want you to answer this question in your introduction, if you may. What skills, education, and life experiences do you have that best prepare you to serve as a county commissioner?
You like for me to introduce myself as well?
Yes, sir.
Very good. My name is Terry Lewis, and obviously I'm running for county commissioner. Life experiences, education. I graduated from Montgomery County at West Montgomery. I attended a very small college called Lewisburg College. Very proud of that. One of the oldest junior colleges in the nation, the oldest. Most importantly, I've been in business for over 25 years. I've lived in this county for 40, but in business for myself for 25 years. Now starting a second business. First of all, I ran Managed Tire out on Airport Road. I have a large group. We employed 40 people. We were constantly, when I mentioned explosive growth, that's something I've experienced before. It does present challenges, and I speak from that on personal experiences. I thought sales would fix everything. And you can, and you will grow, but you'll have challenges from that. And again, I want to mention that. It might be inventory, it might be rolling stock, it might be personnel, whatever the staffing is. So I'm ready to face those challenges. I just know that they're coming. But managing people, working with people, building teams, being honest, being upfront, trying to build the very best reputation I possibly can for myself, and also always trying to volunteer here in the community. Regardless of what happens with me here tonight or in the future of this election, I'm still going to be the very best citizen of Richmond County that I can possibly be. I'll continue to do just what I do right now. But I hope that answered your question, Mr. Moderator.
All right. The next question is going to be this. L.J. Bell Elementary School will be replaced in the coming years. There are several other schools in the district that are decades old and will need to be replaced as well. What is your vision for a school replacement plan for the county? And we will start this time with Ms. Hill.
Well, I have noticed, not too long ago that, we are having a major issue with, Monroe Avenue, for instance, with that school. I honestly hadn't gotten everything put together with the school systems yet, but, I have noticed that there are, several concerns with Monroe Avenue, particularly with the location. There's some concerned parents and staff there that are concerned about either moving the school or putting up a privacy fence. And I've actually thought myself that maybe one day for Monroe Avenue particularly, that maybe if we were to keep the school where it stays, we could do updates for that particular school and maybe tear down some of the houses possibly and put in a bigger parking lot. And then there are other schools that definitely need some updates, some major updates, because from my knowledge, those schools have been the same way for as long as I can remember.
Mr. Dawkins.
All right, so I'll start by saying I agree with Mr. McQueen. I think the one thing that I joined this county board for, and one thing that we have to do is collaborate with our experts within the community. So we've got a wonderful school superintendent, Dr. Joe Farrell. He's actually in the audience now. He's brought a lot of great ideas and a lot of collaboration. So I'm not going to act like I have the answer for what do we need to do with our schools, but I think the real answer is we've got to collaborate with our experts. We've got to collaborate with our educators, our central office, Dr. Farrell, his entire team, and really take a hard look at what our resources are, what our needs are, and create a strategic plan forward with that. I think that's one thing as a county we lack. We've got to have a strong strategic plan to really move forward for the growth that we could experience. But we have to do that with our municipalities, we have to do that with our school board, we have to do that with all of our resources that exist within the county. And I think that's where we start.
Ms. Roberts.
Try not to be so nervous this time. I think that we just got the $42 million grant for LJ Bell School. I think that starts at the state level, and I think that we have great state representatives that help us with that. And we are very lucky to have Dr. Gerald. He does so much for the community. And I will tweak on Amazon again. They have already given so much money to the education system, and they plan to give a whole lot more. And I've always agreed that the county needs to work better with the municipalities and see what we need as a whole and be one team. And with the municipalities, when I first got elected, I didn't understand why we didn't meet with the municipalities. And last year we started our quarterly meetings with them, and I look forward to meeting with them more in the future. I know we've met at RCC, we've met at Ellerby, so let's do with that. I think for us collaborating together and being one team, because the most important thing in our county is our children and our future. And I think we need to do everything in our power to make it better for all the children now and in the future.
So when it comes to the school facilities, I believe we need to work, make sure that all of them are maintained. Make sure, even if there are older buildings, and it doesn't matter which, zip code they are in, if they're in Richmond County, we need to make sure that every school is properly fitted for each student. Doesn't matter if it's maybe a higher income area, a lower income area. We need to make sure that every student has the same opportunity to get the same education. And even if it is an older building, like I said, we can improve those. We do have the funding. We can make sure that everybody, gets the same growth that they deserve. But we need to make sure that everybody has the same equal opportunity. Like I said, it doesn't matter which zip code you're in, it doesn't matter where you're from, what school you go to, whether it's an older school. We need to make sure that school's properly fitted to engage everybody and make sure that every student can get, the education that they need.
Over the last 2 or 3 nights, I had the opportunity to be involved with the school board at other meetings very similar to this right now, where we had school board members there. I've had an opportunity, or made the opportunity, to talk with educators here in the county as much as I possibly could. One thing I will say that holds true all the way through is everybody is so high on our superintendent. Absolutely gush how proud, how engaged they are, he is with them, and they're very, very happy with that. That's what it's going to take to be successful. Certainly, you know that. Any investment, obviously, that we make in our system, in our school system, our teachers, are going to trickle down to our students. And I do feel like the 2 teachers, I'll be quite frank with you, I think they're underpaid for what they do, and they do a wonderful job with what they have to work with. And we hope that things will continue like they are right now. But the superintendent I have not met, Dr. Farrell, are you here tonight? Yes, sir. I look forward to talking to you, sir. Thank you so much. I suppose I wasn't here flagged. Does that mean I need to slow down, sir? 30 seconds. Very good. But I am. I try to stay in touch, try to stay engaged with schools, listen. That's the most important thing we can do as commissioners, is listen to you, the citizens, and do what you'd like for us to do. Thank you.
By the time it gets here, I have to repeat the question. So, LJ Bell, the funds at LJ Bell, what is our plan for schools moving forward similar? Is that correct? Yes. 2 things come to mind. I remember when we were approving the school budget a year or 2 ago. Dr. Farrell, you can interject if I missed the mark slightly. And I remember some funds ending for the nurses, and you had come back to us and said, we really, really want to keep our nurses. And the board got together, and we wanted to see that happen, and we made it happen. And I'm proud to be a part of a board that cares for our school system, and I think we have the best superintendent in the state of North Carolina, to be honest with you. He's a great, great person. Second thing that comes to mind is we've been here 10 years back in the county, and my wife started the company Sandler's Best Care. And North Carolina handles mental health services differently. They have local management entities, and there's 4 left. The other states that have this program completely failed and closed it completely. Their assets are roughly $3 billion combined. If they were to close, which I hope they do, and we could somehow invest that money, we could build 1 new school per year in every Tier 1 community in North Carolina, and raise teacher income $8,000 to $9,000 a piece for every Tier 1 teacher in the state of North Carolina, indefinitely, just on the interest of the money that these people have taken out of our Tier 1 communities. And so that's something I think would definitely help our schools, and thank you for the opportunity. You've given me the evil eye. Time's up. I gotta stop.
All right, so education is obviously one of the top priorities. The kids are our future, of course, and so the LJ Bell thing is pretty great. The other schools, I'm not Dr. Farrell. I haven't met you personally, but I've actually really can't wait to Scotty Baldwin. I've actually been on the phone with him a couple times. You helped me out this week. You just don't know it. And but anyway, we just have to. That's something that has to be sat down, plan with the school board, and figure out exactly the best way for the buildings. There are some really old buildings that are here. I think Ninth Grade Academy is open and available. The old Ninth Grade Academy, I should say. So we just really have to come up with a plan collectively with everybody to move forward with the school system, because it is just as important as anything else that we have here. So that's it.
All right, so first of all, I definitely agree with Commissioner Dawkins. You gotta have the collaboration with the municipalities, but the short answer is, it's not gonna come from the county budget until there's more taxes raised. Of the county budget right now, roughly, according to what I found, 76 million. 82% of that is earmarked for things you have to have from the state and the federal government. Ironically, the same people that tell you what you gotta spend some of your money on don't even have to have their budgets, but the local governments do. Just point of emphasis. The money comes from, it's gonna come from bonds, it's gonna come from, it could be from the lottery, the money with the lottery. It could be from a tax increase specifically. But what I hope is, that somebody's already had these plans in place. You need, for something like this, you got to be looking at it long term, 2 to 5 years, 7 to 10, 11 to 20. Hopefully we can get in there and jump in with some of that. Some of the plans that's already taken place. By all accounts, the school system's in great shape. I think the board is a cohesive group. Great job with the superintendent. And some of these bonds that's available, we got other assets here. I saw Ben Moss, representative of NC State. That's where those bonds are going to come from, federal government. But the main point of emphasis is, as it stands now, with the way the county, and it's not just this county, it's a lot of counties, there's just not a whole lot of money. And we need to make sure that at the end of the day, we start a long-term plan for these situations.
Get the back clean up on this one. Okay. As far as our school system goes, there's 3 things that we need. The first one is the vision. We've got to buy into the vision of the superintendent. We've got to buy into the vision of the Board of Education. We need to know what that is, and that's, I think, a responsibility of the county commission to get in behind that. What is the long-term plan, as several people have said. We don't need to look down 10 years. We need to look at least 20, 30 years down the road, because it's not going to benefit some of us, but it will benefit our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. So we got to have a vision. We got to buy into the vision. The other thing is the education. RCC is a gem that we don't even realize what we have. All the programs that they're doing, they are really turning out workers. They're turning out education, but they're also turning out workers. When you leave some of the programs that are out there now, these people are making more money than we could ever fathom in our day, coming along. So I think if we do that, the other thing with the education part is our population. I hit on this a little bit last night. 42,000 people, roughly. 25% of those are students from school age up through college, up to 10 to 12,000 total students. And if we have these jobs and they come, we're going to have school, because there's got to be somewhere for them to go. We're looking to grow, not to go down. So I think our population is going to grow. One more thing, the biggest other thing is money. Nothing happens unless you got the money. So there's grants that can be written. Those grants can be written and are being written through the school system to the county. We need to really emphasize that, because that's money that's sitting there. If we don't take advantage of it, it's our fault.
Thank you. The next question is, how do you plan to stay connected with the residents across the county to ensure that their voices are heard, valued, and reflected in decision making? This time, we're going to start over with Mr. Robinson. repeat the question? Okay. Question is, how do you plan to stay connected with the residents across our county to ensure their voices are heard, valued, and reflected in decision-making?
So, anybody would, if I'm up here, I'm open for anybody's concern, gripes, complaints. If I'm on your board, then obviously I'm here. My priority would be just working for the people, and once again, just fighting for a complete transparency. So, stay connected, going out in the community, meetings, whatever we may have, in any public viewings. I can meet with anybody, especially if you want to sit down and ask anything. If obviously can't do that if I'm not on your board, but I could take anything anybody wants to the board and see what we can make happen from there. But I would just be available in the community at any time, any emails, phone calls, anything, any special meetings. If I'm asked to attend anywhere, I can be there, and everybody can just have anything they want to say. But I don't mind working for the people. That's the whole reason that I decided to run here.
An old pastor friend of mine told me once, when you walk into the church, walk slowly through the congregation, leave plenty of time, and listen to what the people say. Now, I've adopted that not just in the church setting, but also at the grocery store. If you see me in Food Lion, I usually walk slowly through the grocery store and listen. I've gotten more feedback from the grocery store than probably anywhere else. And it's just making yourself available and making yourself one who's easy to talk to. The second thing is, when I first came to this board, and as I come back, I don't come with an agenda. The agenda is loosely held by listening to the people and listening to what their needs are and listening to what their desires are. So I don't come back with a loaded gun ready to do certain things. I come back to listen, to serve, to try to be the person that God would want me to be, to represent the people the best that I can. And that means putting myself in situations where people are and where they are willing to talk. And so I hope that you would afford me that opportunity one more time.
Very good question. And probably one aspect of the job I think I probably would enjoy most, this is something I do anyway. Grocery store is a great place, but you really have to get out and really rub elbows. I try to be very approachable. I do see folks that come up to me. I do enjoy talking. Those that know me out there, I do. But it's also very important to listen. If you get out and you're involved in the community, if you're volunteering, whether you're at church, volunteer boards, which I try to be active on and engaged, you will see people. They will share with you. They will tell you what they want, what they're looking for, what may be happening in their life at that time where they may need help. It's just a matter of just staying engaged. It's not that hard. It really isn't. But it is one of the biggest part of this job. It really is, to listen, bring it back to the board, share it with the board, and try to address whatever issues that you may have as citizens. But I hope that you can always come to me, anytime, now. See me afterwards, I'll give you my phone number. It's no problem. You'll find I like to talk.
If anybody's ever heard me talk concerning this commissioner race, one of the main things I do emphasize is making sure that people's voices are heard. As I stated earlier, I'm a business instructor. Prior to that, I was also an instructor at Scheffler Group, where I taught well over 1,000 students. And that's not just for Scheffler, but I'm talking about combined. I've taught well over 1,000 students. So I've had to listen to their concerns. I've had to lead them. I had to make sure that their goals was met. So listening to people's voices and their concerns is something that I will absolutely do. And like I said, that is one of the main foundations of my campaign. Just like everybody in the room, you know, I'm a citizen just like you are. I'm part of the community just like you are. You know, I'm no different. I'm not used to sitting up here answering questions. And I'll be honest, I don't have much government experience. Actually, I don't have any government experience. But what I do offer is a fresh perspective, a new point of view, and I can assure that I will listen to everybody's voice. My family and I, we're always out in local events. We live in Hamlet. We go to, you know, basically every Hamlet event there is. We go to Richmond County events. But we're out there, and if you want to approach me, you want to talk to me, and if I'm lucky enough to get your support and get on the board, I'd make sure that your voice is heard. As I've said before, I'm just like everybody out there. I'm part of the community just like you are. You know, my voice is no different than yours, but I will offer everybody a seat at the table if I get a seat on the board. And that's my time, but I will ensure that everybody's voices is heard.
I'm always out there for the people. I have people call me all the time. As a matter of fact, right now I'm working on 2 things that people have called me about. And I try to research, go to the county manager, go to the department heads, try to get their answer within a day or 2. Also, I think if you want to engage more with people, go to more events like agent services events, school games, veterans events. Get out there, go to the municipality meetings, go to the school board meetings. You know, just put yourself out there, be available, and like I said, you can always count on me. I get calls all the time, emails, and of course, churches, talk about the grocery stores, but Walmart's another good place to go to, because I can't never go there and get out without at least 2 hours. I think just making yourself available and having the resources to let people know where they can go to answer their questions.
All right, so I think a good example of this is kind of my professional background. I've been in manufacturing since I was 18. I've kind of shaped in that direction from my parents. Both of my parents worked in textile mills in East Rockingham. And I can remember as a kid kind of hearing their concerns about their work, hearing their concerns about the plants closing, leadership not listening and taking an active part in their work. So that kind of shaped my career. I built a pretty successful career in going around and turning plants around. And I do that through listening to our people. I put our focus on our people within our plants, understand what the constraints are through rolling the sleeves up, getting beside them, actively listening to the concerns they have, and then doing something about it. So I think, as Mr. Lewis said, the people will come to you. The people will bring concerns. It happens frequently. You can't go in food line without that happening. I've spent 2 or 3 hours on the phone with people with pretty extreme concerns. So I'm willing to give that, but that's something I'm really passionate about, and it's something I've built my career on too.
With a lot of the stuff that I do, as far as with my job and my organization, Steve's Wings for Humanity, I already do get out there, and that's part of the reason that I am running for county commissioner, is because I have a lot of families, a lot of hard workers, volunteers, and everything that actually do come to me, and we talk very often. They pour their hearts out to me about some things that can be done, you know, in this county, and that's pretty much fully why I'm running for county commissioner. Because, I mean, you just have to get out there, you know, get out in the streets, get out, like Robin said, get out there, make yourself available, and just listen with a warm heart, with a warm, caring heart, and people will tell you.
To many people in the room and the people on the board, on this panel, they have built their own business. For me, this is the easiest question that's been asked. It's the most simple question that's been asked. It's about building relationships. If you build relationships with people, you get on their level, they're on your level, you understand what their needs are, they come to you, do something about it. When you say you're going to do something, keep your word, do that. The other thing that you have to build relationships, you've got to have a servant heart. That means you really care. Don't just listen to people when going about your business. If you care about people, you will do the right thing. You're in the schools, the churches, scouting, out doing your daily shopping. When you do have a chance to see people, build a relationship. Those relationships count. Those relationships are what we are going to build this future for this county on. So my thing is, if we get out there, just simply build the relationships and do what you say.
So this is a really good question. The interaction that you have with folks, it can be anywhere. It can be when you're out walking, stores, things like that. But I think the main problem is, and we need to go back in time a little bit, is a lot of folks don't want to have any interaction with their local politicians now because of some of the things that's going on. I mean, you have money being sent out before votes, meeting on them, 5 days later. They don't want any part of it. They see us as, to begin with, the county has no money. The county is entrusted with our money that we give them for the services that we give. And I just want to just point blank say that it's a sad thing. Nobody comes to these meetings to listen. Nobody goes on the city council for 15 years. We may have had, unless somebody was mad about something, there was 4 or 5 people there, and that's it. But you've got to be able to talk to folks, and they're going to ask you hard questions, and you can't just say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what you want me to do. If you can't be a leader that will do what you feel is right after looking at all the opportunities, and don't tell somebody something and then go back and do something different. Be that person that's going to tell the truth and then follow through with that, right? But, I mean, my time is running short, but you do have social media is a big tool. Unfortunately, most of the time now it's just throwing bombs at each other. This person arguing with that person, this person. We got to do better than that. I will say, if you see me in Walmart, I will talk to you. My wife won't be with me because I talk so much. She does not come with me anymore. So I look for you in Walmart.
All right, Ken. So the next question. It's going to be different for the incomers as it will be for the challengers. We're going to start with Mr. Gainey and go back left. But for the incomers, is like, what responsibility do you feel as a county commissioner have you had to be accessible to citizens? And of course, for the other candidates, is what responsibility do you feel? What responsibility do you feel that you will have as a county commissioner to be accessible to citizens? Starting with Mr. Gainey.
I apologize to keep confirming it. I think the sound's going this way and coming back here, so it's kind of an echo. I think you said, what responsibility do I have to the citizens to be accessible?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think that's related to the previous question. And, accessibility is the foundation for building trust and transparency. Right? We could be doing the greatest things in the world and not meeting with our constituents and not meeting with our people and explaining to them why we feel this way or that way, or understanding why they might feel a certain way. Someone told me the best sermon ever preached was one where the preacher did not do the speaking, but the people did. And he listened to the people. And that, I believe, is the heartbeat of a good commission, where we listen to the heartbeat of the people, and then we can repeat back that order of things as we lead in government. The responsibility that I have to be accessible really has, thank you, has extended into all hours of the night. I have rescued kittens from trees in the middle of the night. I've responded to more recently, dogs issues in the middle of the night. We've had morning calls about various things, and the idea is you be available for whatever the people's needs. And it could be as extreme as helping someone in DSS custody who absolutely needs emergency help. And you need to be available, just as available for the kitten stuck in the tree as you do the kid stuck in the DSS custody. And that is our responsibility.
Yes. Mr. Dawkins.
This coincides really closely with the last question, but as far as accessibility, I remain accessible. I'm definitely open for communication. I try and attend things that are appropriate and answer questions when people bring them up. So I think that is a core responsibility of this role, and it's something that I will maintain and be steadfast in kind of supporting.
Okay, I think I'm pretty accessible. All the years of my volunteering and doing events and all, I've come to know a lot of people in Richmond County. I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to be a county commissioner, is to help more and get out more with the people. And I'm always accessible. And I think, like Mr. McQueen said, I wish more people would come to our meetings. And I think I should personally be going to more municipality meetings and school board meetings and put myself out there more. I think we are one team, and we still need to be a team, and just making ourselves successful and answering questions and finding the answers.
I believe that everybody is elected, any government official, they should be accessible. I've said it before, I believe that the government should happen with the people and not to them. So they should have a voice, and their voice should be heard. And if you are elected, even if someone didn't vote for you, you do have to represent your constituents. So whether they voted for you or not, you need to make sure that you are open to them. I'm no different than y'all. I'm the same as y'all. Honestly, I'm going to say I don't really like this divide right here. I'm not used to this type of format. I'm actually used to talking to people one-on-one, hearing their concerns. That's what I'm best at. Answering these questions like this, I do my best. But I actually do better getting out in the community, increasing community engagement, listening to people. Because like I said, I'm no different than y'all. I'm the same as y'all are. I'm part of the community. I'm a citizen just like you are. And even if I'm elected, that doesn't make me any different. I'm still one of y'all. I'm just one voice on the board, and I will use that voice, to make sure that every constituent's voice is heard. Like I said, whether they voted for me or not, that's what we are there for. And even if people want to come to me and they say something that maybe I don't like, maybe they have, comments, maybe they're not positive for me, but that's fine. You need to listen to everybody. Whether it's positive, negative, everybody's voice deserves to be heard. I'm just like y'all. I am one of y'all. And if I'm elected to the board, I'll make sure that everybody's voice is heard and that I am accessible.
I apologize. There is a slight feedback, a little bit difficult sometimes for me to hear over here anyway. But what I understood the question to be was what responsibilities to the citizens for me to be successful or accessible. That's one of the two that I heard. But one thing, and that's fine, because I think I can roll with what I've got, but I think probably one of the biggest of any organization, whether it's county commissioners, or first and foremost, is make sure that you have one common goal with the people that you're sitting in that room with. That's the most important thing, that you do have that common goal. And in this particular case, that is to serve for the betterment of Richmond County and its citizens. Whether we have now, in the past, in the future, I think that's probably one of the first things that I feel like is my responsibility, is to make sure that I'm part of that team, and that we operate as a team, that we understand what our goals are, and that's to serve you. If we if we address it in that manner, I think everything else will fall into place. But I think that ought to be probably the first thing. That would be my first responsibility, and probably one of the first things that I would like to address if I serve.
If I were elected as a county commissioner, the only reason that I would be a county commissioner is because I would be elected in, obviously. Well, getting out there and talking to people like I do, interacting with families the way I do, all the things, my whole life revolves around interaction with families that are trying to gain, families that have lost, different scenarios for everybody. And I love what I do, and I love my county, and I do want to make a career out of what I'm doing on the streets with different types of family situations. And I do intend to always make myself be available for anybody and everybody for all types of situations at all times of day, as a matter of fact. Because I just love what I do, and I really, you need to be there, accessible for the community if you want to make a difference and you want to be there for people.
I feel like I would be very accessible to people. I don't mind giving my phone number. If you need it after this meeting, I'll be glad to give it to you. So I'm going to always be accessible. When you come across with that word, the key word on that is approachable. If you're not approachable as a county commissioner or any other servant, then they're not going to talk to you. If you've got a bad look on your face, you don't have a smile on your face, nobody wants to approach you. So you've got to be approachable. People approach people because they feel like trustworthy. If you're trustworthy, you do what you say you're going to do, you make yourself more approachable, more accessible. And I'm making this quick because it's really simple. One thing that I thought about while we were talking is most of you know Zig Ziglar. He's one of my favorite people. He's very motivated to help people. But this is one thing that always stuck to me. He said, "People don't care what you know until they know that you care." So if you care for people, you're going to make yourself approachable. You're going to make yourself accessible.
If we're going to raise people's taxes and raise their property values, we better be willing to talk to them, and we better be doing it with a really good heart. I take the question as, what is the responsibility? And naturally, one word: financial, money. If you're going to be taking money from people to run this community, to run this government, you need to be actively reaching out to try to talk to people. We don't have to wait on these folks to come and talk to us. Get them involved in these meetings. 16, 17% of the people probably will vote in this election. And that's sad. I'm going to leave it at that. The responsibility to talk to the citizens, if elected, is because I'm going to be asking you to give us your money to run this community. And it doesn't get any simpler than that, in my opinion.
Glad to know I'm not the only one who doesn't want to go with me because I talk too much. Once again, I'm approachable always. Anytime anybody sees me anywhere, I always stop and talk for a while. I'm usually getting drug out of the store because of it. But I mean, emails, phones, anyway, I'm available anytime. I'll be accessible at any time for anybody's concerns, no matter what. Once again, my priority is to work for the people. So I'll always be available, and I'll always listen. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to take it back, and we're going to get it hashed out some way. Your voice will be heard. So I just, in short, just if you see me, you want to talk to me, talk to me. Whether I'm on the board or not, I'll talk to anybody. It's so.
All right, candidates, we have one more question for you guys tonight. And this time, we will start with Mr. Lewis, going down the table. So this question is, it's come to my attention that Richmond County remains number 1 in the state for fentanyl death rates. How do you feel that you can better the county and help them to address the addiction crisis in the community?
I was aware of that. I had a young lady share that information with me just a few days ago. That's something that a lot of communities are struggling with, and that is, the information is correct, as you do know. I think probably with law enforcement, working with law enforcement, here and counseling as well. We have a sheriff and a candidate we saw last night, very high on both of them. I think the role of our sheriff, I do know it's a serious problem. How to address that? How do you fix that? That's a real question. I would think first and foremost is to get involved with people who are dealing with drug addiction, the professionals that do counsel with those users right now, those people that may be exposed to it, the communities where you see it most prevalent. That's probably best to roll up your sleeves and get right there and see exactly what's happening, where it's coming from, what we can do, how to control it, how to stop it. The best thing I know to do is get in as involved as you can with the people who are professionals who do the counseling and let them help me. I've got to have the facts. I can sit here and make assumptions and spew poison again. I'm not going to do that. I need facts, and I need to go to professionals to share that information. If they can help me with that information, I can start formulating a plan. Okay, but I've got to have someone inform me, and there are professionals. That's the help of them. They get that information, I can help fix the problem. I'll help address the problem. That's what we're going to have to do.
Mr. Daniels.
All right, so can you repeat that? You said that we're the number 1?
Yes, sir. So it brought to my attention that Richmond County is the number 1 county in the state for the deaths related to fentanyl. And how do you feel that you can help the county to address the addiction crisis here?
Well, I'll be honest with you. This just came to my attention too. I did not know this would be number 1 in that. And I'm not trying to blame it. Like I said before, I'm not, tearing anybody down. I'm not knocking the county or anything like that. But I do believe that we can work with local communities. I do know there's a establishment, or not establishment, but like Darren's Voice. They are out there. I don't want to comment on how they got there, but I do know there are local community leaders out there that address these issues, and I believe that we do need to bring resources to these issues, and we need to make sure that these people. I understand that also fentanyl isn't just because they're trying to engage in using fentanyl. Sometimes it might be laced in other drugs that they're trying to use. Maybe they're addicted to something else, and it's being laced into that. I understand that, a lot of these people, they make profits off of cutting or lacing things like that. But now, we need to work with the local community. We need to put our resources into rehabilitation, make sure that people, if they are addicted to any substance, as far as I'm hearing, this might even be laced in marijuana. I heard that last night from the sheriff, just like you said, but or the sheriff candidate. But sometimes they might not even be seeking out this drug, but it might be laced in what they are using. So we got to get to the root cause of addiction. Make sure that people aren't addicted to any type of illegal substances. Will help have better communities, safer communities. That's it.
I will say that we got some information at our last staff meeting that we are not number 1 in the state anymore. And I think that'll come out pretty soon. But as far as the drug addiction, we do have a problem here. I think it's a nationwide problem. I know there's Melissa with what she does, the Steve's Wings, and Darren's Voice, and the Richmond County Rescue Mission. They do an amazing job. We did start a drug court, which we're incorporating with the DA here to make it easier to get the help that they need. And I think it also starts with home base. You need to have a nice home, not a nice home, but, you know, not just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're addicted to drugs. But I think it goes back to the home core value of the home. And I think our sheriff's department does a great job, and I don't think it's something that's gonna go away quickly, because like I said, it's not just a county problem, it's a nationwide problem. And I think the resources like Dr. Danny and a lot of like I said, Steve Swing's Dance Force, Richmond County Rescue Mission, they're all out there doing all they can do to help. And I think, as a team, this is something that we all need to work together.
So I think it requires a two-pronged approach. First, we have to try and address the problem. And we've got a deaf task force that actively does this. It's made up of a collaborative group of experts within our community and volunteers within our community. So we have to continue that approach, address what we can, and try and help those that we can out in the community. But I think more importantly, we've got to have prevention. This is a problem that's not going to go away tomorrow, but we can start preventing it for tomorrow. We've got to give our kids and everybody in our community the opportunity. We do that through economic expansion, we do that through education, we do that through other forms of putting their energy out there. So having things for our kids to do other than the bad things that are going on within the community. So I think between addressing the issue of the current state, and as Commissioner Roberts said, you know, our stats are showing we are seeing some improvement, but it's not going to be fast enough. So making sure that we've got an approach of prevention to help our generations to come.
Well, my job, I am a peer support specialist. I work for a company here in Richmond County that's only been here for about a year. And, you know, as it's been mentioned already a few times, that I do also have my organization, Steve Wings for Humanity. We do have resources in Richmond County, but sadly, and again, I'm not saying anything bad about anybody, anywhere, whichever, but we truthfully don't have enough. If I ever get to have say-so in Richmond County for the opioid crisis, the drugs out there, I do work directly in the streets, and it's not pretty out there. The drugs are getting worse. Right now, there is a particular drug on the streets that Narcan does not revive. And it's making people get worse. But we need to bring in a detox, not one that's outside the county. We need one inside the county. We need more people, you know, we need so many more resources. I could really go all day about this question, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut it at that.
I agree with Terry that we need to be educated more about it. I'm not going to sit here and speak and say I know all about it. I've never been there, so I can't speak to that. I can tell you about going to church, and I've been doing that all my life. But as far as the drugs, I never had that temptation. But you never know what people are going through until you find out exactly where they've been, what journey they've been on. So I think we need to educate the board, educate our people, let them know what's going on. Also, we need a long-term vision. I keep saying vision, that's a key word. A long-term vision. I've never been on a trip, ever, I'm going to give my age away, without a road map. Nowadays, my wife just gets her little phone out and she plugs it in and that's where we go. We go that way. So, without a vision, without a map, without a plan, we're never going to change what we're dealing with today. The other thing that I see is clean up their environment. One of my big things is clean up this county. If you go to the same place all the time, we probably got 3 or 4 places we like to go eat. These guys that do the drugs and girls, they go to the same place all the time. If those places are cleaned up, they're not there, they can't go. So it's not a hard problem there. The hard problem is getting the treatment that they need. And again, I'll have to be more educated on it, but those things right there around it, we can clean up that part so we can eliminate one part.
I actually was hoping that this question would be asked, and the first thing we need to do is we need to be truthful with ourselves. Just ask the question rhetorically, or you can throw your hand up, it doesn't matter. How many people think that fentanyl deaths are the result of overdose? A lot of fentanyl deaths, a good deal of them, are actually crimes. North Carolina has a statute on the books, death by distribution, holding these drug peddlers accountable for the poison they're putting in the streets. And it's coming in through lower end drugs, marijuana and things like that. Working with the federal government, the state government, and hopefully pretty soon with the new DA, Mr. Scott over there, get some of these folks prosecuted. And I will piggyback off of what Mr. Schultz said. Go out and try to enjoy a meal or something, and you see folks that are either in a substance abuse or a mental health crisis. There are things that's available for folks to do in this county. Not a lot, granted, not a lot. However, when you allow people to be in acute mental health or substance abuse crises, something needs to be done when it's involving something that takes away from other people's rights. We all have the right to go out and enjoy things. Until we get that under control, it's a tough answer. You either get them mental health, substance abuse help, or you place them under arrest and try to get everything cleaned up and make sure it's a safe community. But this is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to be something that's going to be handled at the federal, state, and the local level. And I will tell you, unequivocally, we have the finest sheriff's department in the state of North Carolina. I'll tell you that. Those guys do a good job, but when they arrest them, they go to court, they right back out on the street. There's no accountability. Until we get accountability and decide that we want to take the streets back, get the people the help, we'll also hold them accountable. It never will be done.
I agree with that, especially the last part. It is sad, no matter whether we're number one or number three in the state, it doesn't matter. It's terrible. It's been a growing crisis for a long time now. The sheriff's department does do a lot. There's a great vice team right across the street that makes a lot of things happen in this county on the executive side. But just like Mr. McQueen said, it gets to the judicial side and they're right back out. There's no punishment. There's no accountability. Like you were saying, there's it's coming in marijuana. It's coming in numerous things, and it's a very sad situation. It's also an international problem, but it's the national level, the state level. It is everywhere, all over the place. Anywhere you go, you can't even pick up a dollar bill you see in the parking lot because some people think it's a joke to do it to somebody. And a lot of times those things happen that way, but as long as we keep resources to the sheriff's department and to the city, we can keep combating it. And then if you don't stop the inflow or the influx of it, and we're getting people help all the time, I mean, we're just helping the addicts. We're not stopping anything coming in. So as soon as they can't heal in 30 days and get right back out and start using again when we're constantly, it's just a perpetuating cycle. So we just need more resources with law enforcement and death by distribution. That was a good thing that came around as well, to hold more people accountable.
It's on the grand finale. Great. I think these guys have done a wonderful job addressing the legal aspects. So I just want to address some things that we're doing on the victimization side of this. One of the things that Samuel's Best Care does, my wife's company that I've been fortunate enough to be a part of, is we're in every school in Richmond County providing therapy services. And over 70% of those children many times is some type of opioid addiction involved in those issues in the school system. Opioid addiction, if you look to your left or right, affects every person that you see around you in some way, some shape, some form or fashion. So on one side of the bookend, you affect preventatively with our children, and on the other end, we have the Richmond County Rescue Mission, which at one point was a homeless shelter, but now is converting into addiction treatment, and not just a homeless shelter, but addiction treatment. My wife is sitting on that board, and I'm helping them apply for grants and things like that for with the state and through Medicaid. And so now we've got two bookends that are working on the victimization side. And the third step that we actually launched this past Sunday in an experiment in Dobbin Heights. I went and preached at one of the local churches there and brought with me DSS and DSS and the health department with me and resources, and introduced those to that local church. And we walked away with 6 families volunteering to help children with respite care and emergency foster care. And so we're going to be doing that in multiple churches throughout the county to help be an intermediary service that, children usually get addicted at a young age. And so we're trying to do that preventatively in the middle as well. So those are some things we're doing on the victimization side to prevent that, as well as combat it and push it back on the side of our citizens. Thank you.
All right, so I would ask that you all please put your hands together for the candidates here tonight. All right, so before we turn it back to the chairwoman, I would just like to ask everyone to, if you have time, to please do thank Alan Mashburn, because he would have definitely been here tonight if he was able to. But with that, I'll turn it back over to the chairwoman in this new spot.
One thing I did want to do is give each one of you an opportunity, if you'd like. Y'all tell me, do you want to do your 1 minute final wrap up?
Yep.
You want to? Okay, well, I think it's worth doing that, and I'm right in the camera. Oh. Who has the mic? I'll let it start over there.
With me? Yeah. Okay. We're going to close. The rules going to stand. Just step out here. I don't like being behind that thing, and I just want to thank you very much for allowing us the opportunity to be here. Thank you for listening, and I hope I'm as good a listener as you are to us. And if you afford me the opportunity for re-election, I would appreciate that opportunity very much so. My name is Jason Gainey, and I do hope to be able to bring that listening ear, and also not just to listen, because I get a lot of feedback, I get a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but, okay, I think I'm almost done. I just want to complete that thought. You did not elect me the first time to just listen to everybody and make a decision based on what you say. I hope you elected me the first time and will choose me again because I listen to everyone and then do my best to do what is right. And that's what I pray that I will be able to do for one more time. Thank you.
All right, so I appreciate everybody. It's because Jason got it. Hello. All right. So I appreciate everybody coming out here. I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate everybody coming up here. Questions were great. I think everything was really good with problems we have. Problems we are seeing and to come. Once again, my name is Richard Robinson. My priority will be to work for you, work for the people, and fight for as much complete transparency as possible. That's going to be my number one goal moving forward if you do see me fit to be on your board. Thank you.
So I would just like to say that if I'm elected to the county commissioners, I can promise you that things will be done in a lawful legal manner. There will be no meetings that are done without proper advertisement. There will not be meetings that are done after the fact on decisions being made. And if just think of it like this: if you're going to build a house or any kind of building, you gotta straighten up the land. You got to start from scratch in some cases, and I really feel like there's some good ideas that's been talked about tonight. But until you can get a cohesive board that works with the other communities and does things according to what the state law says has to be done when you're dealing with other people's money, you cannot do anything for the betterment of this county. I know that may sound harsh, but if I'm elected, I promise you that I will be your voice to make sure that happens.
Thank you all for coming out. Really appreciate the attention you've shown to the community and the ability for us to get out here and speak our words, and also know we are accessible even before we get on that commission. If not, let us know. The key words that I used tonight a lot was vision. Without a vision, people perish. So we need a vision in this county, but we need to have a long-term vision, not what's going to happen tomorrow, but what's going to happen down the road. And my slogan, I want to repeat it again, see if you remember, it's real simple. One team, one goal, better together.
My name is Melissa Schoonover. I am running for county commissioner, and one of my biggest goals is to help try to clean up this opioid crisis that we have in Richmond County. I hope that if I am elected, I can help Richmond County get off of the top 1 to 5 range in the state for opioid crisis, and let us start being number one in economics, education, other great factors. And I will dedicate everything I have to doing that. Thank you.
Do appreciate everybody's time tonight and their attention. One thing I do want to stress, I agree with Mr. Schultz, we've got to have a very clear vision. Unfortunately, our county's vision since I joined the board has been focused on getting financially stable. It's been a very narrow vision, and I'm really looking forward to being a part of the team to drive a holistic and collaborative vision with all of Richmond County, not just Richmond County government. I think we've got to have measurable results that we can be held accountable to and hold our leadership accountable to. I think that's the most important thing. And within that, we've got to have tight financial control. We are being entrusted with our money as citizens, and we've got to do what's right for our citizens, not just for different businesses that are within the county. So that's my commitment to everyone here, is to hold our leadership team accountable towards financial control. I am just one of 7, but I will continue to push that as I have over the last 5 years. And I would appreciate everybody's vote, so thank you.
I want to thank the Republican Party for hosting us. This is something I wrote 3 years ago when Ben Moss had a meet and greet. And I read it last night at Ashley Chapel, and I'd like to read it again because I think it stands true to who I am and who I want to be on the board for the rest of this year and if I get reelected. I'm a people person. I've served on many boards and committees on a local, district, and state level, where I was honored to receive the Governor's Award in 2018 for Volunteer Award of Excellence. My motivation comes from being on all the boards and committees and working with the public. I want to be the voice for the people. My passion is my veterans, and I would like to continue to help them and all of our Richmond County citizens to make it a better place to live, grow, prosper, and have a better quality of life. I'm a go-getter, and I do everything 150%. I'm almost done. If re-elected, I will continue to do everything in my power to make Richmond County a better place for our veterans, our elderly, our children, and every citizen in Richmond County. I think whoever's elected in this room will do a great job. Please consider voting for me again, and I promise I will do everything in my power to continue to make things happen. And I would appreciate your vote.
I'm going to go ahead and reiterate the statement that some people have already expressed. I appreciate everybody's time coming out here. I appreciate that I was provided the opportunity to come up here and speak. With that being said, in my closing statement, I am James Daniels. I'm running for county commissioner. I do hope for your support, but I'm not a politician. I don't have the most well-polished answers. but I am one of y'all. I'm part of the community. I'm just like y'all. It is hard getting up here and answering everybody's questions, but I do appreciate the opportunity. I'm just like y'all. I'm part of the community. Between my background, like I said, I'm an educator. I also have my MBA, that's a Master's of Business Administration. I do believe that I will be an asset to this county, and if I am elected, I'll make sure that everybody has a seat at the table. As I said again, I am running for office. I'm not a politician. I'm just like everybody in this room. I'm a citizen. Everybody has the right to run, so I took that opportunity, and I do hope for your support.
Folks, I'd like to reiterate that it's great to see the turnout tonight, and it speaks volumes. You being here, I know that you're interested, you're engaged. I've been in the customer service business all my life, and this isn't really that much different. We're in the customer service business. It just so happens that you're the customer. I want to be a part of a board that's unified. I want to be a part of a board that serves you. There's going to be differences from time to time, but just like in customer service, in 25 years, I didn't have a lot of disgruntled customers, but at some point in time, it's how you handle things. It can bring you closer together with your customer, with each other. And again, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to work with a group of people with the same goal, and that's to take care of this county, take us into the future. But again, my name's Terry Lewis. I hope you'll see fit to vote for me. If you want to see the same thing that you've seen in the past, the way things are now, probably not your guy. If you want to see change or difference, then I hope you'll vote for me. Thank you.
Well, I left somebody off the thank you list, and that's these guys. We've got 10 running. We've got 9 that came and showed up. This has got to be a hard job to stand and have questions thrown at you that you don't know what to expect or what the community brought out to you. And I applaud you for that. That's a lot of courage. I know I'm nervous, and I don't even have questions thrown out at me. So, way to go, guys. That being said, I am the chair of this Republican Party. I do encourage for you guys to get involved. I hope that we have answered some of your questions. These questions did come from you guys. If we didn't, then I would encourage you to reach out to these guys individually. We have a meeting. We meet every month. I have asked and encouraged every one of them to attend. This February the 26th, I plan to pretty much sit down and let you guys ask what you want to whoever is there. So that being said, also, the fentanyl question. I'm a healthcare worker, and I'm just going to throw this out there because the reason I do this is because I'm more of a Christian than I am a Republican. And we are starting prayer at the courthouse on Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. We met the first time last Sunday with a group of 10, most of us strangers. I encourage you to come out because that's what we need. That is the true answer in all of this. That's the way we're going to unite as a county. No matter what political party you are or which candidate this is we've got to put first things first. So. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Go vote.
Sorry.